Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV 360 Sport. You know, it's a season of football where with the All African All football tournament is going on in Cote d'Ivoire, and that's talking about AFCON, the African Cup of Nations. And Nigerians have played their first game. It's a mixed reaction in that first game. So many things going on. We have many Nigerians also at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Cote d'Ivoire, where the opening game started. And also that's where Nigeria also played their first game. So there have been mixed reactions since the 1-1 draw against Equatorial Guinea. Some are saying it's not a good one. Some are saying, oh, it's still a very fair game, knowing that there are more games to play. So that's why I said it's mixed reactions. Some are happy about it, some are not happy about that. But I'll be talking to someone who has done so well for himself when it comes to sport administrator, someone who has a footballer, an ex-international. He has so many things in regard for him when it comes to football. Talking about Henry Wayan, who is a sport administrator. It's good to have you on the show, Henry Wayan.
Thank you so much, Muda Shitu. I'm glad having you again on this edition.
Thank you very much. We go straight to what Nigerians have been saying in regards to the 1-1 draw against Equatorial Guinea. Mixed reactions, different things going on. Some are happy, some are not happy. Some said it's better we started it this way. And some are saying, no, Equatorial Guinea is below the par for us. That shouldn't be like that. But what's your own expert opinion in the game?
Yeah, Muda, to so many like me who are so much interested in this game and who are also patriotic when it comes to Nigerian Super Eagles or Nigerian football in general. It is indeed a devastating one for us. And we are surprised in a way that we are not able to, at least we are not able to score first. Rather, Equatorial Guinea scored us first, and then we now have to equalize. And after the equalizing, we are not able to make any attempt to win the game. To tell you the truth, we thought this particular team, we have beaten them several times. We have not gotten to that extent of having this kind of draw, especially in a tournament like this. So notwithstanding that there are issues with our players, some of our players we rely on, issue of injury and all that. The quality of players we currently have in the team, we believe can be able to beat this particular team, Equatorial Guinea. But unfortunately, the result is different. And we equally expected the coach to do some deep move to be able to get the boys on track, at least to be able to be on their game and even win the game. The least I expected in this game wasn't a 1-1 draw. I expected at least a 2-1 win for the Super Eagles. But unfortunately, we had that very result. No hope is lost. The slot is still open. It's left for the Super Eagles and the coaches to do the right thing.
So what do you think went wrong? What went wrong? We have African Footballer of the Year, Osimhen. We have Alex Iwobi in the flanks. We have Ademola Lookman. All these players, Chukwueze came in later in the game. Joe Aribo came in later in the game. These players just for the papers. I mean, nobody expected us to come from one goal down to get a draw against Equatorial Guinea, looking at the FIFA ranking. But what do you think happened? We have many opportunities where the current African Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen, Napoli forward, missed several chances. Is this a matter that it wasn't just our day, or we did not do our proper analytical view or assessment of our opponent?
Yeah, Muda, technically, in that game, the midfield was something else. It was highly porous for the midfield. And you can see it was so easy for the Equatorial Guinea to push us, and it looks more like we are even going defensively much. Notwithstanding, we missed so many chances. And it also looks more like those supporting Osimhen are more like inexperienced players. But I mean, the way they play at the time, but it's not like that. We also see in some situation where it will be try as much as he can to still maintain the midfield and still come back a bit to assist those at the back. So in that game, I can tell you, even in the area of substitution, those we expected the coach to leave behind and then push in to go for goals. I mean, we didn't see that. It looks more like the coaching crew or the coach himself didn't actually read the game properly. And the boys, you know, we understand this kind of game. The boys, of course, may, with one hand, you know, relax a bit. So it left for the coach to really keep them awake with some technical input into the game that we didn't see. And it really calls for urgent attention or urgent alert for both the coaching crew and the team and the players to really do something, especially now we still have the chances. We understand that we are not the one leading the group. We still have Cote d'Ivoire there. And of course, we have a point that we are sharing with Equatorial Guinea. So it's left for us now in this coming game tomorrow to make sure that we're able to do something fruitful, something tangible to be able to put the team at the right track.
Yeah, and you know, people keep saying this. We have reports, we have publications, we have talked on about that there are no minors more in African football. We saw Cape Verde defeating the almighty Guinea. We saw that it has to take a penalty for Egypt to draw against Mozambique. Has it got into the state that we should not accept that there's no small teams, no minors, no small nations when it comes to football? Because even the win Equatorial Guinea, Ivory Coast, the host nation, had against Guinea-Bissau does not show what the game was all about. Have we come to agreement that there's no small nations when it comes to football in Africa?
Yeah, generally, Africa is a big continent, and that is equally expected of in African football. There's no small team, of course, in Africa. You don't underrate any team. The team you may even underrate may be the one to disgrace you out of the tournament. And this is why the giants, those who have been making, who has what it takes when it comes to player resources, should try their best. A country like ours, we have what it takes. When you talk about international players, those that are the best in their clubs, we have all of them. And this is why we're supposed to take this game very serious. We're supposed to take this tournament very, very serious. We are champions for 3 times, of course. We're supposed to be champions as in many cases as possible. And also not just that, to make sure also we qualify for the World Cup coming, because we have missed the other time. So we're supposed to take it serious, knowing that no team in Africa is small. And this is why a lot of people were disappointed. Equatorial Guinea, a lot of people may say no, that they are a small country. They are not a small country. We even have a player among them who played the American football, who now have to come into this particular football, the soccer, whatever they call it, from the United States. So now we have them coming in, and you can see it's not like they don't have the knowledge of the game. They have the knowledge of the game. Physically, they are strong. Technically, they are also awake. And when you look at it, you will agree with me that both the coaching crew, the players, they did so much to make sure that they're able to make a great impact. You can see a player among them who usually play as a defense player in his club, yes, coming in as a striker and making some great pushes. This is what we are talking about. You can see the determination, you can see the effort they put in place. to make sure that they drew against us. In fact, they want to win us. If not just that we're able to escape that, I think we could have ended up having this team or this country defeating us. It's quite unfortunate. We have over 200 million people in Nigeria, and a country with just 1.6 or 1.5 million people beating us. You can see the expectation here is very high. We are a football country, and not that we are delegating them to the background, but we respect them as a strong, as one of the African countries that are also doing well in football.
That's everyone. Yeah, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at tomorrow game between Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Don't go away. Yes, still on the game. So much comment coming in on our Facebook message and also on our Twitter handles as regards to tomorrow's game against against Ivory Coast. So we still have everyone here without tell us much about tomorrow's game. Where you should stake your mind is where we should believe. I've been hearing that we're going to defeat Ivory Coast, but you know, it's not yet time to say that. That's why we have Henry in the house. So we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll be hearing from an expert view of a sport administrator. Yeah, welcome back. Still talking on Nigerians' preparation for the game against Ivory Coast. Joining me to talk about this is everyone who was also on the first segment in regards to the game against Equatorial Guinea. Henry, how optimistic are you towards the game against Ivory Coast?
To be sincere with you, especially my mind and the minds of Nigerians that are in same position with me must be keeping regarding this coming match against Ivory Coast. Looking at our performance so far with Equatorial Guinea and the kind of team we have so far and the input of the coach and his crew in the last game. So the performance is not up to expectation, and we are expecting that a lot of things must be put in place before now to make sure we're able to face Ivory Coast. I can assure you, and I can also tell you this for free, that Ivory Coast as a team will be stronger than Equatorial Guinea. And that is why we should not take it for granted. And notwithstanding, it's been the dream of Ivory Coast to beat us in this tournament. We have heard what our friend Didi have been saying, Didi Drogba, and so many of them have been saying. In fact, it's going to be a big celebration if Ivory Coast happens to beat Nigeria tomorrow. We are begging the coach to do a lot, especially see how he can redefine the midfield and see how he can reposition some of these players and give them the necessary assignment to execute properly. We are not saying our players are not doing much well, but we need a lot from them. You know, you can see, put the ball down, keep it down and play the real ball. All this throwing ball from far and then pursuing the ball and all that, that will not really work with a team that have even greater height than you, than your players. So we're expecting them to do a lot of work, especially from the midfield. We don't have problems, in fact, with the strikers. We don't have much problem, though we want them to bite. We don't want them to just remain there as a backing dog. We want them to really bite Ivory Coast seriously. An early goal will help us a lot. Also, doing a good defensive job tomorrow after scoring them at least 1 or 2 goals will make a lot of sense. So we're expecting them to do a lot of job on the midfield and put more experienced players, caution them well so that they will know that this tournament is a serious one, a one that the whole world is expecting Nigeria to come out victoriously.
Yeah.
So for me,
Professor Henry, I beg to ask this in the mix of your discussion to ask if how satisfied, because Nigerians want to know how satisfied is Stanley, the goalkeeper, coming on his debut. It's that second time, and on a game like this, are you satisfied with our goalkeeper and his ability in the game?
yes, I'm satisfied. So far, even the goal that scored him wasn't. It wasn't something you can actually blame him. There was an open way for the player to just mingle in and have a shot. So he did well, and we expect him to do better or more. For us with Ivory Coast. I think so far from what we have seen, Stanley did very well, and we expect him to
What
do better, especially playing with a stronger team like Ivory Coast.
What change are you expecting that Paseo should make? Everybody is still talking about his remarks after the game against Equatorial Guinea, saying that it's God that give victory. God did not give us the victory that day. Hope that we are going to get through. That will have been the talk on the internet. But what changes are you expecting to be made against Ivory Coast?
Yeah, Pacero, of course, have been trying his own best based on his ability, but that's not enough for a country like Nigeria. We expect more. So I believe he must have looked at the game properly. He's supposed to look at the game, I think, preview the game that he played against Ivory Coast. Equatorial Guinea, and then look at the performance of Ivory Coast with other teams so far, and then make the proper changes. As I believe he's listening to us, the midfield is very porous. We are not seeing much effort on the midfield. We need a midfield that will really not only assisting the defenders, we need a midfield that will really contribute to the effort of assisting our forward to score enough goals. That is the kind of midfield we want. We want a complete networked midfield. With that, we'll be able to make a great impact against Ivory Coast. So I'm also looking at him, making some changes, bringing in some of the players we have not seen so far into the game. Not just this, not a game for try and luck. We expect him to, talk sense into these boys and make sure that they do the right thing. Not just talking sense into them, they should have a pattern of play. Not just playing as if they are not together. You can see how some of these other teams are playing. They are playing like a team. They are playing more like those who know each other. Unlike some of our players, not really working with the rest of the team.
Well said. We've seen so much, but let's look at what's going on right now in the other side of the continent. Anyway, we saw Cape Verde defeated Ghana, and reports getting to us is that we had fans attacking Chris, who is the coach of Ghana, the Ghanaian national team, after they lost to Cape Verde. What's your opinion on that? That's unexpected. That's an unruly behavior. I was thinking African football have gone beyond that. Don't you think similar thing can happen to Nigeria? Or don't you think CAF needs to come out outrightly to make sure the offender is punished?
Yeah, Ghana is a West African country, and you will agree with me, they are also not playing when it comes to football. This is one sport that we don't play with in West Africa. And in fact, when you talk about Ghana, you are equally talking about Nigeria. We usually have same behavior, just that in some cases, maybe with different culture in our approaches. So Nigeria, we are matured above attacking a coach. I don't think our players will do that, but that should not be taken away because we know a country that have over 200 million people, you will still have some people among them, that will say no, that we can do something you don't expect. So, but for us as a country, we can't do that. I understand the Ghanaians, they are very unhappy. I mean, they are unhappy about how the whole thing happened. So it's quite unfortunate it happened, and we believe it will happen again. I think the federation have to call the fans in order.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of today's program. Thank you for your incentive analysis and objectivity on the topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mudashitu. Thank you, our viewers.
That's Mary Wanya, who is an ex-international sport administrator and done so well for football. And that's all on today's program. We hope that in subsequent editions, we'll give you what's going on in AFCON, especially when it comes to the game that Nigerian has to play. So it's good to have you on the show today. Thank you very much for watching. Same time next week, we're giving you all what you need to know in the world of sport. Bye for now.